The Kingdom Hearts series has explored tons of Disney worlds. Unfortunately, not all of them have been enjoyable experiences. I put together a list of some worlds that left a little bit more to be desired. Starting things off with Deep Space from Birth by Sleep. So the portable entries in Kingdom Hearts always got the shorter end of the stick when it came to world set pieces and length, but Deep Space definitely did Lilo and Stitch dirty. Instead of exploring Hawaii, we're restricted to the space prison from the beginning of the movie, not a super memorable or noteworthy setting. It would have been awesome to maybe, like, we're joining Jamba and Pleakley and we're hunting Stitch in Hawaii. Or since this is Birth by Sleep, maybe each character, obviously they have a different story when they're there. So maybe one of them is helping Jamba and Pleakley hunt Stitch in Hawaii, and maybe another one is helping Lilo and Stitch avoid Jamba and Pleakley. I don't know. You could throw in some mini games while we explore the island, and then halfway through, maybe we team up with Lilo and Stitch and we have some set pieces fighting Gantu in his ship or something. I know that there's a boss fight in this world where you fight like another experiment from the TV show, which I thought was really neat. But that makes me think about, imagine if you could explore Hawaii and you were tracking a couple of different experiments, and so you have some neat boss fights with them, and then you could loop it into Birth by Sleep's themes of finding your purpose and stuff. I don't know, it just seemed like a wasted opportunity, and I think the odds of us going to a Lilo and Stitch world in the future and it featuring Hawaii are very low, given that Moana is probably going to be taking over that biome and imagery for Kingdom Hearts 4. Number 2, the Caribbean from Kingdom Hearts 3. I hate to put this one on the list, as it's probably the most visually impressive Kingdom Hearts world. The Pirates of the Caribbean world in Kingdom Hearts 2 had a really neat enemy mechanic using the Aztec curse from the movie. The enemies were invincible in the sunlight, so you had to deal damage in the shadows, which was a really fun thing to consider in combat, and it added a lot to the game. Kingdom Hearts 3 had some light battling, but there was no equal gimmick here, and you spent way too much time sending Sora and Co on a quest to find crabs. It really didn't feel like I was on a journey with Captain Jack, and it barely related to the plot of the movie. It just felt like a weird fetch quest where, yeah, we were exploring this map, but we were like looking for the crabs. It was just weird. It seemed like they were scraping the bottom of the barrel as far as a plot goes here. There was a lot of effort and time put into the underwater traversal and combat, but then Jack doesn't even follow you underwater, so you lose him. A good Kingdom Hearts world to me centers around your traveling companion. And it really sucks here that Jack isn't with you for such a large chunk of this world. The ship combat is really fun, but you're not really fighting alongside Captain Jack during the ship combat sections. You could have done some crazy stuff using the set pieces from Pirates of the Caribbean too. Maybe you're helping Jack escape the island from the beginning of the movie, or you're participating in the fight for the key in the chest against Will, Jack, and I think his name was Norrington. Ugh. It would have been so fun. All these big set pieces in the entire series, and you didn't really feature any of them in this. They just jumped straight to the third Pirates movie. I think they wanted to have closure to the story of Pirates, but I don't know. You could have gone to Pirates of the Caribbean 2, knocked this out, and then you'd always be able to go back and feature Pirates 3 in a future game. Maybe not 4, but I don't know. What's most disappointing is that everything that's come out with Johnny Depp and the State of the Pirates movies, I think the odds of us going back to this world in particular are very low, and this is a very mediocre send-off for such a cool IP. Number 3, the grid from Dream Drop Distance. First off, this world, understandably so, is very short. It really sucks that such a visually stunning world was restricted to a 3DS, but exploring the grid in Kingdom Hearts 3 would have been so much fun. And that's what I'm really upset about here, is kind of the lost potential of this world. I wish they would have saved this one for the mainline games. Imagine exploring a larger city in the grid of similar scale to San Francisco in Kingdom Hearts 3. Ugh. It's also disappointing that we visited this IP twice in the series, and we haven't gotten a throwback minigame that plays just like the original Tron game did. The last thing I'll say here is, like I said with the Pirates World, is just the lack of party members. It's just too bad that nobody joined your party in this world. Jeff Bridges is like my favorite actor, and I'm just really disappointed that he wasn't in my party or anything. I really hope that Tron 3 actually releases into theaters, and I also really hope that it's like actually good, so that there's a chance we could visit this world again in Kingdom Hearts 5 or 6. We're definitely not seeing this in 4. Number 4, Arendale from Kingdom Hearts 3. Party members make the world. The feeling of traveling with your favorite Disney characters is what keeps me going in these games. And if you told me 5 years ago that there was going to be a Frozen world in a Kingdom Hearts game and that Anna and Elsa are not in your party, I would say you are insane. How in the world did they not put Anna and Elsa in your party? It's just like, that's crazy to me. That they're like the Disney characters of all time. It's insane to me. This is the question that keeps me up most nights. Elsa is an ice wizard. It's such a perfect companion for a Kingdom Hearts game, or at least a boss fight or something. We didn't even get a Little Mermaid style musical mini game. In the movie, like the whole thing is like that, the Let It Go song has been one of the biggest atomic bombs dropped on pop culture, and we didn't get a mini game around it. They played the song, but we didn't get a game or anything. And Elsa doesn't join your party. Every Kingdom Hearts world always has to deal with the obstacle of some of these characters aren't really made for combat, and so the devs have to get creative and imagine what would these characters look like if they were fighting. What would Mickey Mouse look like if he were fighting these little heartless monster things? Not a lot of worlds have characters that are just suited very well for combat, and Frozen is one of them because Elsa is an ice wizard. It's just so weird to me how Marshmallow joins your party and Elsa doesn't. At the bare minimum, Kristoff or Anna. It's so weird to me. And then half the world is spent getting harassed by Olaf trying to find the pieces of his body. And then the other half is being trapped in Elsa's ice labyrinth, which just felt really rushed. We should have been traveling up the mountain with Kristoff and Anna, and then they would have been in our party. We could drive Sven and the sled around, we could stop at the spa area for a checkpoint or something, and then we could fight Elsa when she thinks that we're working for another kingdom or something, we're trying to capture her maybe. And then after that, we realize it's all a misunderstanding, and then we could team up with Elsa to save Anna a bit later, and then we fight a giant Heartless together. There you go. I'm really mad about this one in particular because why isn't Elsa in your party? It's just so sad how they butchered this. I mean, obviously there's hope with the eventual Frozen 2 world in Kingdom Hearts 4, so we'll see what happens there, but I really hope they step their game up with this. And number 5, Beast Castle from Kingdom Hearts 2. Beast Castle was a weird world to me. Story-wise, Belle and Beast aren't really together yet, but they already know each other because Beast is trying to save her in Kingdom Hearts 1. So it just kind of felt like a really stretched out subsection from the first movie. I think the thing that upset me the most about this world is we didn't really get a Gaston fight at any point. We didn't really get to see Gaston, and he's such an iconic villain, and it would have been such a fun moment to have a fight on the roof against him, or at minimum see Beast break the spell and become human again. Instead, we got a couple of escort missions and an Organization 13 fight on the bridge, which isn't really an iconic Disney location to me. When I think of Beauty and the Beast, I think of the rooftops, I think of the ballroom dancing scene. I don't really think of the bridge. It's just weird. I'll give credit where credit's due though. Turning the chandelier into a Heartless was a fun idea, and that boss fight was pretty fun. But yeah, it's just a weird world to include. I wish they would have fleshed it out a bit more. Or at the bare minimum, add some closure where we see Beast and the furniture turn into humans again and the curse is broken. That wraps up my main list, but I do have a couple of honorable mentions that they're not fully fleshed out to be full members of this list, but it's worth noting when you're talking about letdowns as far as worlds go in the series. So the first one here is The Jungle Book from Birth by Sleep. So this world isn't a final world that made it to the game, but people have found scrapped assets for a Jungle Book world in Birth by Sleep, and I just think it would have been an amazing world for this game in particular. Its scale would have really fit the vision of the game, and I know in the portable entries they always kind of scale down the production value in the worlds and the things that you do and the characters that you see. But I think this world in particular would have thrived in that. I don't think it needs a Kingdom Hearts 3 caliber, big budget, open world map. But a few lagoons, the Monkey Temple, maybe a fiery pit area to fight Shere Khan. It'd be perfect for Birth by Sleep. A very similar scale to Kingdom Hearts 1, like the Tarzan world, with hopefully better, tighter platforming. And there would have been really fun boss fights for Ventus, Terra, and Aqua. Shere Khan, Ka, and King Louie would have been candidates for a boss fight for each one. Not a lot of worlds have such a wide selection of bosses to choose from, and this would have just been a fun world to explore. Unless we get a smaller scale spin-off game in the future, I don't think we'll see this world in a mainline numbered Kingdom Hearts game. The next one is Traverse Town, and this one doesn't apply to a specific Kingdom Hearts game. This is just kind of all of the times we go to Traverse Town. The first few times are fine, but I was just noticing a lack of improvements to it over time. It always just felt so empty. And though the games always seem to add context as to why it feels so empty, I never really bought it. It just seemed like it was made for a video game, and it was made to be empty. It didn't feel like people lived there at any point. Radiant Garden and Twilight Town both feel lived in. Even with the lack of NPCs walking around, it just feels like people have lived here. Traverse Town always just kind of creeps me out. It's always night there, and you're lucky to run across Geppetto every once in a while. I think about how Twilight Town changed so much in Kingdom Hearts 3. It got bigger, it's more spread out, there's more NPCs walking around and doing stuff. And if we ever see Traverse Town again, I hope we see an equal improvement. And the last world on our honorable mentions list, Wonderland from Kingdom Hearts 1. Wonderland was a tough one. I think they captured the spirit of Alice in Wonderland, but missed the exploration mark. It never felt like we were lost in Wonderland like Alice was in the movie. We just kind of hopped between pretty much 3 rooms the whole time. I try to cut Kingdom Hearts 1 worlds a lot of slack when it comes to this because they were the first batch and they were smaller scale before they had more time and a bigger budget. But this is just one of those worlds that I wish they saved it. This would have been a really fun world to run around in Kingdom Hearts 3, and honestly, hot take here, the live action version would have been even cooler. Maybe we'll get to go there in the future. And with that, that wraps up my list and my video on missed opportunities when it comes to Kingdom Hearts worlds. If you liked what you saw, consider liking and subscribing, and let me know in the comments what Kingdom Hearts worlds were your least favorite. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you again next week. Bye!